Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Sagittarius, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so nice to see you. Thank you for deciding to click on this reading. Yes, let's start with the card, right? So every reading, I just pick a card as I'm setting up so I can kind of, get the feeling of what's going on here. What is the energy, the atmosphere, okay? Like walking into a room, right? You're going to soak up all of those energies. You're going to look around, see who's in there, what's on the walls, the patterns, the textures, how things are placed, of course. It all affects how you feel. And so, walking into this room with me, we have the devil energy. Now, you might be like, okay, whoa, lady. I'm good. I don't need, I need zero devil energy in my life right now. I feel like, there's a lot going on for all of us. One more thing, right? It just, no thank you. So I do feel that the devil energy is one that can be kind of anxiety bringing because it means that there is change. There's change happening. The devil energy, in my estimation, is of rebellion. It is of, I'm not going to take this system anymore. I'm not going to live in somebody else's perception of reality. I'm not living my life the way, the greater they want me to, right? All of our social conditioning, the conditioning that happens in our youth, and even on through, right? We get to a point, and I think often it's when you get older, middle age and up, but the beginning tremors often are in that midlife crisis era of your life. You start to see this maybe is what I have worked for years. I've set my life up in such a way. And maybe I've achieved many of my goals, but now I look around and I see this is the life that my mother wanted for me. This is the life that, I thought was going to be the thing, right? The dream. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's not what it's all cracked up to be, right? So the rebellious spirit comes in and says, hey, let's get going. There are so many doors to choose from. Let's see what's next. All right. I also wanted to, here's the deal. I could not believe we had the number 7 that was out on the edge of the bowl. So, number 7, lucky, lucky, lucky. You are in a lucky alignment right now, okay? Here we go. And I don't want to disturb that 7. Ooh, and I did. Sorry, 7. Well, we all saw it, so we know it was there. We have that lucky energy. Okay, so again, thank you for deciding to click on this reading. It almost kind of looks like we have the continent of Africa here. Okay. Whatever that might mean for you. Maybe it's an interest you've had. Maybe you live there. I know we have a few people that watch from South Africa. Shout out to you all. Interesting. So we have the Magician. We have the Magician here, and we have a journeyer holding a bow, it looks like. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. And we have my stick. So we have the Magician here, and you can see it's the Magician because they're holding what looks like a wand right here. Okay, this would be the actual Magician. The head would be up in here, and this is the body down here. Arm extended, wand up. Okay, we have a house right here, and over here we have it. It looks like somebody. Right, this is the person. Here are the arms, and this one is holding a bow. Now also, it looks like a butterfly in its hand. Over here we have, again, the number 7, and then we have what looks like maybe the Magician. It could be the Hierophant. So to me, this really feels like a spiritual revival in your life. Now, I believe that there's been a time here where maybe for a significant amount of time, even years, a whole chapter of your life, probably, I imagine, where you just were very focused on the mundane, physical world stuff. So what would that be like, right? Your work, your career, raising a family, pursuing your, passions, hobbies, traveling, whatever it is. But the emphasis is on that realm, right? Making money, buying, property, building the property up, selling it, whatever. You know what I mean? Just like businessy stuff, making money stuff, keeping your house together stuff, working on your body stuff, right? Health, fitness, whatever it is. But I feel that living in this way, because I know, I don't even feel, I know that you are a spiritually inclined person. You are somebody who, I imagine, gets these feelings of, it's almost a sense of being pulled, maybe being led a little bit, attracted to, maybe like even practices that don't make sense to you. Let me give you an example of like something that happened with me. When I was in my first years of being a practitioner of the occult sciences or magic, right? Mostly I came up in the chaos tradition, chaos magic, right? But this was like my entry into magic was chaos. And that made sense because I was part of the art world and, street art and this kind of thing. So these kind of very much align if you look in the right places. I, was interested in all directions, all kinds of magic, religion, philosophy, all these things, right? So I'm learning in all directions. I'm not sticking to any school of thought. There's no curriculum that I'm following. I'm just going, right? And it's been like that for years, maybe a little more organized now. But at some point, and I think this was maybe about 4 years into my intentional practice, I came upon the urge, and it's like I stepped into like a pot. My whole foot went into the hole, right? Mud, water, everything. It was stuck to me. And it was this feeling, this pull to pray or set intentions while tying knots, specifically with twine. I don't know why. I don't know why I was attracted to that. I had never seen anybody using knot magic. Now, maybe I had heard, in my reading or in passing, or maybe it was like in, the history of all ages, right? Manly Pihal, shout out. Something like this, or maybe in Israel Regarde book or whatever, the Tree of Life, possible. I don't know. There are these kinds of books that have a wealth of short, simple explanations of different kinds of divination and magical practice and so on. So anyways, it came naturally to me. I still use it constantly, probably every day, not every day, but almost. Yeah, almost. So sometimes something will emerge in your spirit, and it maybe is not in that front part of your mind, right, where it's clear and you can see all of the rational, linear movement towards this thing. You can plot it out. But then there are sometimes things that are just like, I don't know why I have the urge to go outside and grab a handful of dirt and rocks, bring it inside, and cast it into a bowl of clear water. Why? Why would I do that? Why does that, why do I have this urge? Now, maybe it is like, what are those invasive thoughts or whatever? You just want to see how something feels or what have you. But sometimes, yeah. And by the way, this is how I divine with the dirt, the rocks, the water. This is how I divine when something needs to be addressed outside in the yard. If somebody is suffering, one of my plants or bushes, or maybe for some reason the water's not draining the right way in some area of the yard or whatever. This is how I divine. I know it sounds silly, but listen, this is the thing. Sometimes you just have this pull. Now, it could be so many different things. I'm not saying it's just divination for you, but with all of these kind of magical, spiritual symbols, I could not believe any other thing than that you are a practitioner of some kind, intentional or not. You are magic. Wherever you go, things are, I don't know, you might perceive them as a little glitchy or maybe, just weird, anomalous stuff is going on. Or also bringing luck into situations. You might be somebody that people really consider as being a lucky being. Okay? So I see you using this kind of burst of energy, and that's what it feels like, to build up some aspect of your home. But I don't think this is necessarily just a physical act. I feel like this is like you are opening up a dialogue with the divine, as though you were living in such a way that would consecrate the ground that you dwell on. You are living by your virtues, your convictions. I believe in this time in your life, there's such clarity about what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do any longer. And now, I don't believe that in the past you were, naive to these things or completely oblivious, but I feel that it has taken some time and work in your life to have the confidence to say no, to have boundaries. And I believe as you've shifted into this place of power within yourself, you've created space for this magical element to really, really activate. And so in sticking up for yourself, advocating for yourself, prioritizing yourself, you are seeing this very, very magical side of you. And now why was that not more apparent before? Well, probably because you were in survival mode. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you are getting up early every day, out of the house early, trying to get to work, get your stuff done, getting off of work, running errands, dealing with everybody's stuff, getting home, having to deal with the home and everybody's needs, and then hopefully having 2 seconds to yourself, if you're lucky, and then going to bed so that you can do everything again. We all know this story. And when it goes on and on and on, and there's not really a reprieve, how could we think about magic? Maybe you are thinking about God, Goddess, the divine, giving thanks and trying to do your gratitudes and all that kind of stuff. But how can you do the deep magical work when you're always in survival mode? It is very difficult, but that's part of life. This is the ebb and flow. Sometimes we're pulled away and then we return. And I feel that on this return, now look at this. We have a big dog, it looks like a little dog because look at these tiny little legs here, right here. And here's the tail. The head would be right up here. And it looks like eyes, nose, mouth, like it's turning to look at you. And its tail is wagging. I almost feel like I'm thinking of like Toto, like a little Yorkie or some kind of terrier or, some little cute barky dog, right? Now, within the tail, we have a goat. So maybe a Capricorn person. Up here, we have 2 people in union, and there is between them, it looks like flowers. We also have that number 7 again. Okay, so lucky. I do feel that in this time, there is a closeness to a beloved, a spouse, a significant other, a good friend, somebody that you have profound feelings for. Now, I feel like this person reciprocates these feelings. They're very loyal to you, devoted to you. And I feel like for the most part, you feel the same way. Now, I feel that maybe you are their one person, whereas you have more people, lots of people in your life, right? Because you are more of a social being. I think that you everywhere you go, work, if you volunteer somewhere or you are part of some kind of club or you like to, work out in the same place or, get your coffee somewhere, you are good at getting to know people around you. Like you will have a conversation. You'll do the small talk. You'll start to get to know, little things about people everywhere you go. Now, this person, not at all. Very much a solitary being. I feel like this puts some stress on you because you feel maybe, I don't know, a little guilty for having friends or, at least like having conversations with other people. I just took a drink of water. I'm very thirsty. Here we go. Not my phone. I don't need my phone. I do. And I feel like sometimes it can be overwhelming to be that social outlet for somebody, that connection for somebody. And here we have, look at the eyes, the nose, the mouth is kind of, I don't feel like it's like they're a jealous person so much as, I don't know, inflexible. Like if you did meet somebody, like, a group of friends and they invited you over for, like a dinner And of course, your spouse, your significant other, or a plus one or whatever. And this person who you would invite to come with you, they just don't want to go. They don't want to be around these people. I don't know these people. Why do I have to spend my night with them? I don't want to talk to them. And this is the energy you're met with. Now, I don't think this is a deal breaker by any means. I think that you appreciate this person and, that they are just who they are. But I do think at times it can feel quite stressful. Now, I do see kind of a little bit of a, maybe, I don't know, a conflict, maybe a little argument. I don't know. We got the push and pull here. Two people pulling on. This one's pulling on this one. Okay. Now over here we have a person who's just kind of walking by themselves forward. Okay. So to me, this isn't like you're breaking up. You're not leaving them. That's not what it feels like. But what it feels like is they have hit a boundary with you. And maybe that is something like they don't want you talking to a certain person. They're asking questions about like a kind of conversation that's super private. There's a feeling of like almost kind of like too familiar, right? Like you're too comfortable talking about this, like, or asking me about somebody else's personal stuff or, whatever it is. So I feel like for you, they hit the boundary. Okay, there's a little bit of a conflict, but I think that this thing gets worked out to the point where you feel freed of any kind of guilt. Well, not any kind, but, mostly of guilt so that you can just behave how you want to. I feel like you are tired of the eggshells. You are not going to live your life trying to, take care of other people's needs and making everybody else comfortable all the time. And your wants and needs kind of go to the, to the wayside. It's like, finally, at this point, I'm done. If I want to go out with somebody, then I'm going to go out with somebody. If I want to, go to dinner, I will ask you, I'll invite you. But if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. No more of the begging or asking, trying to set things up in such a way that like, okay, maybe they'll say yes if I do it all this way. And maybe they'll be happy with that. And maybe that will make it easier. No more of that. You're not catering to somebody else. It's a grown person, I imagine, right? And you know this. You've been through this before. Especially if you're married, right? You go through these seasons on and off, right? Where you start to realize, hey, we need to get out more. And, I imagine my husband and I are both pretty like, let's stay home if we can. We're very kind of independently solitary people, but also just really like to be alone together, with our daughter, of course, as well. But if we could live our lives like detached from any other person, I think that we probably would. I think that was like our natural, happiest place. But, life is life. Gotta do what you gotta do. So, I don't know exactly, but I do know what it feels like to get to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. If nobody likes it, oh well, you get to a point where I'm going to live my life because I'm not going to squander any more time. Now, not all of it's squandered, of course. You love this person. But you're not going to let them dictate. Not anymore. Okay, now look at this. We have this dog. Ooh, boy. It does, look at the eyes, the nose, the mouth is, okay. Now, on the other side, we have this one. Look at happy little, ooh. Yeah, so I do feel like you are happier and you are met with maybe some grumpiness, okay? But listen, this is what happens. When we finally take our power back and just say, I'm not putting up with that anymore, or I'm not going to be so available to everybody, or I'm not going to be the one that's always, picking up the slack, or whatever it is, right? The moment that we decide that we're going to live in our truth, we're going to do what we need to do to, find a way to meet our goals, to stay upon the path that we want to be on. People will get upset. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how close you are to people, how, peaceful and perfect and everybody loves you. The moment you change in any way that's perceivable to others, somebody's going to have something to say. And oftentimes when we do this really fundamental, deep shifting work, and we start saying, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I don't want to hear that kind of talk anymore. People don't like it because it's confronting to them. All of a sudden, their behavior is being shown to them. And that doesn't always feel good. That definitely does not always feel good. I know that. Getting a taste of your own medicine kind of deal. All right, so we have the repeating letter M, although it could be a number, right? But the repeating letter M, okay? And we have that up here. 3 of them, actually. So it could be repeating the same word or name. We also have a horse. We have a duck. The duck represents, there's actually 2 ducks. The duck represents being able to weather anything. You go with the flow. You are going to get through all of the choppy water. Whenever things start to feel like, oh, here comes the big wave, right? You are just going to, and the ducks, the waves come up and like this. The ducks just ride on them. It's like they're completely unbothered. They're a little buoy out there, just kind of going with the surface of the water, basically, right? The wave kind of just goes right under them and leaves. They are totally fine. So I feel like for you, you are in an era where you are happier, you are more confident, you are magical AF, right? You are in a place of power. You are in a place of love, of care, of honesty, of being realistic about what you want, being open and honest about that as well. And that's where all of that defiance comes from, right? That devil energy. Now, I don't know about what it's like to be raised as a man, because I'm a woman and I was raised as a woman and I feel that I'm a woman, all that stuff. So I'm not going to say every person, this is very generalized, but, I have had conversations with other women. I've read lots of literature and things. But yeah, I would say that as girls, young girls and women, we are often, we're taught to make ourselves smaller, to really surrender to other people's ideas, beliefs, opinions about things. Or at least if we have a conflicting idea or opinion, we're kind of, meant to just keep it to ourselves. Now, I don't think this is always a bad thing. I mean, we could go real Taoist with this, right? never answer questions, don't offer up any information, just kind of hang out and go with the flow. That's at the extreme, right? But I do feel like this is your shedding. This is you coming into a place where, man, I don't give a dingling, right? I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And listen, you're a kind person. I don't think it's like your truth is some mean thing, aggressive thing, or destructive thing. But sometimes, especially if you're a people pleaser, which I'm trying to be a recovering one as well, saying even just no, or I can't do that, or I don't really feel like doing that this weekend, or whatever. That feels like you're being mean. And you're simply saying, no, thank you. What? What? Once you start to like get comfortable in the no, thank you, I'm going to do it. Have you ever said no to something and then you feel like you have to hide in your house all weekend and keep the lights off so they don't know you're home? No more of that. No. We're just going to say, no, I don't really feel like it. I have things to do at home. I need to rest. I have other plans. That's not something I'm interested in. All these kinds of setting ourselves free. It can feel very selfish. Okay. Now we have the horse as well. So to me, this is really saying that you are resolved to change. You are resolute, okay? It's not just like, I hope one day I can figure this out. I hope one day I have, the power, energy, and courage to say and stick up for myself, to make these changes, to advocate for self. No, I feel like you are here now. You are in it. You are in it. You are in that energy. All right, let's see. We have 50 as our first lucky number. All right, now we also have number 66 and number 3. Number 3. All right. Oh, I forgot this was under here. There we go. Put you right there. All right, so let's see. We're going to finish with and now this is the water deck. It's called the Water Blessing deck, Water Blessings. And I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. Ooh, we got a little praying mantis, I think. Yes, praying mantis. Look, it's looking at you. What's that guy's name? Zorak? You got some Zorak up in here. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's all good. But go watch it. Number 4, clarity and focus. Meditate to be in harmony and at peace with nature. Meditate to be in harmony and at peace with nature. All right, I love it. Wow. Sagittarius, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. I hope that you know that. And thank you for being here. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. If you have any prayer requests, please put them in the comments, or you can email them to me over at ulaishere@gmail.com. I know some people, you don't want to put it out on main. I get that. You can email it. I read them all. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get back. Obviously I'm the only person doing my emails for the channel and a variety of other things, plus private clients and all of that. So bear with me. Sometimes it takes a few days. Sometimes even longer than that. But at the beginning of the year, I set a boundary for myself that I was only going to do, maybe like 5 in-depth emails a day, actual really involved kind of replies and stuff. So yeah, it does take me a little time, but I want to be there in the communication. I want to feel and let you know that I feel you as well. So, it is what it is. But yeah, you can send them over there. All right, Sagittarius, I love you. I love you. I love you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Good night.